Are you ready for the miracle? A miracle of actually Skype calling?
The miracle is actually the thing that we finally made it work.
Thanks to our sound guys, please. A big applause to the sound guys.
Yes. Thank
you. Right, with a bit of help from a magical device, we'll actually be able to speak to our next guest, who is Josh Haber. He's from the far land away behind 7 oceans, 7 mountain ranges. Actually, it's 1 ocean, yeah, basically. Oh, no,
I think
cool.
it's still pretty far away.
Yeah.
You know, it's a kingdom far, far away.
Indeed. Right, you. Are we ready? Are you ready? Or should I just introduce him as well? Do you actually people know who Josh Haber is?
Yes!
Oh, that's not good enough. How many of you actually read the con guide and read about him? Damn.
I lost it!
Shame on the people who didn't read it. I took so much time to actually write it down. Damn. And thanks to all the people who actually read it. Yay. Cheers for you. Alright, he's actually the person responsible for writing the script for quite a few episodes. In season 4 there is like Castlemania, Simple Ways, Leap of Faith, and from season 5, The Bloom and Gloom. It's a pretty cool episode as well, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Which
I really
one?
like that one.
Which one was your favorite from these ones?
Oh, I think this is not about my personal preference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's keep it.
Yeah, so okay, let's see if our magical device works. I will hit the button.
Yeah, the moment of truth. Are you actually calling this test call again?
Yeah, it's a Skype call, yeah.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, Josh? Yeah!
Hello, Josh. Welcome to Czequestria.
Hello!
Oh, there is a bit of lag.
You guys look frozen to me.
Yeah, there is a quite big audience. Can you see
It's
it?
very quiet.
Now we can light. Now we have light.
Are we quiet?
See?
Whoa! Hey everybody! What's going on?
Fun.
Yeah, it's very quiet on my side. I can't hear very much.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, we'll try to improve it.
More magic.
Yeah, let's add more magic to this conversation. Okay, can you hear us better? It's better? Can you hear us at all? Apparently not. Oh.
Let me get some headphones. Maybe I can hear better with headphones. Hold on.
Yeah?
Hold on, here, let's see.
Yeah? It says internet connection problem, but yeah, I think it gets better.
Actually, this sounds good now.
Ah, that's good.
Yay. Right, sorry about the technical problems. It's kind of complicated. Yeah.
Sorry about the lag, everybody.
Right, let's get on with the panel. Actually,
Well, I think for the first, we would like you to welcome to Czequestria officially. So, welcome here in the Czech Republic, in Prague, in the center of Europe. No. Actually, no. Is it better now? No.
Yes?
Yes, better?
The volume's awesome, it's just the lag is a...
Ah, all right. Okay, then officially, welcome to Czequestria.
Oh, hey, thanks! So good to almost be there.
All right, hopefully the microphone works now.
How's it going so far?
Oh dear.
Is it just like frozen on funny expressions I'm making? Should I just make some weird faces?
Yeah, it looks really cool because most of your expressions you are smiling and waving, so when it freezes, it just looks like, yeah, you are super happy.
Yeah, it's not like...
No, it's just like when we ask something or say something, you just look happy and smile.
Right, yeah. Would you be able to share with us your story of how did you actually become My Little Pony scriptwriter? As it seems that every crew member of My Little Pony Friendship's Magic team has their own unique one to tell.
Yeah. We all have our own... We have our own ways of finding... Hold on a second. I'm moving you. We all have our own sort of ways that we found we all took different paths to the show. I started out working in film production. I was a PA on a bunch of stuff, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do for a long time. And then when I finally figured out I wanted to be a writer, I couldn't get a job anywhere. Because it's actually kind of hard to get a job as a writer. I don't know if any of you guys know that, but it's kind of difficult. So I wanted to write comedy for a long time. And eventually, when I wasn't getting hired anywhere, I had a few friends who were doing really, really well in animation. And they suggested that I write some animation specs. And I did. I think I wrote... I don't even remember what I wrote. Maybe I wrote a Star Wars Clone Wars or something. And and then something funny. I don't remember what it was. But they took my samples and they distributed them to pertinent parties. And one of them was Megan. And she read some of my sample scripts, Megan McCarthy. And she liked them, and we sat down and we hit it off. And she decided to give me a shot, and the first script I wrote was Castlemania, and it seemed to go all right, so she gave me another script, and it just kind of built from there.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Oh, thanks for sharing that.
So, that sounds marvelous. So, what did you originally think when you were assigned to the My Little Pony episode to write? Did you think it's another kid's view, as they were meant for a slightly different audience, or it is pretty much the same as with the My Little Pony episodes?
Well, I started writing on season 4, and by that time, the sort of brony phenomenon had already, it was sort of in full stride. It was already well known. When I came on, I had just only heard the word brony. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know how many fans there were. But a quick Google search cleared it all up for me. And
Oh dear.
I found out pretty quickly. So yeah, I knew going in that there was a passionate fan base. But you know, I've sort of been a passionate fan of things my whole life. I've been like a, comic book reading, role-playing game nerd since I was a kid. And I've been going to comic book conventions my whole life. So I kind of felt like I had a little inkling of what maybe was expected of me. So that was sort of in the back of my mind as I was working on the show. But by and large, it's a show for, 6 to 9-year-old girls, and we try to keep that in mind when we write the show. And that's the audience we're writing for, and that's the tone of the show that everyone fell in love with. So we weren't going to change the show because a new fan base appeared. We thought probably best to just keep doing what we're doing, and then everyone will continue to like it.
That's cool. Wow.
Thanks.
And I hope the coffee is really good.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's kind of a big mug.
Yeah, amazing. I think at the end of the day, we all need one.
We also know that you have
It's
written...
the beginning of the day for me.
Right, we have also found out that you wrote a couple of Rainbow Rocks shorts. Did you have to use a different writing style for this, or did you approach them the same way as you did approach the MLP episodes, as they were meant for a slightly older audience?
Yeah, the deal with Rainbow Rocks is that, or Equestria Girls in general, hold on one second, just closing the window. All right, is that it's the same characters. So the writing is going to be, at least the dialogue is going to be very similar. The characters talk the same way. Yeah, it's for a slightly older audience. I think Hasbro wanted to compete with Monster High, so that's why they came up with it. Little insider knowledge. But so the tone of the stories is slightly older. But the characters themselves are the same, so the writing process is just really similar. You're just dropping those characters into slightly different situations.
Oh.
Okay. I hope it is okay to ask, but episodes that bear your name are actually really great, at least from our own experience and local feedback. Is there some chance that we will see more of your work, or is there somebody, some pony we should give a talking to convince them?
No, you'll be seeing a lot of my work in the future, for sure.
Oh, great!
Wow, that's awesome.
I have two more episodes coming up. What was that?
Oh, it's
Did you
awesome.
say something? Oh, I think so. Yeah. No, I have in season 6. I have 2 more episodes coming up, so you'll see 2 more things from me in season 5. I'm sorry. What season are we on now? Season 5.
Oops.
Yeah. The currently airing season. There's 2 more episodes coming from me. And then Friendship Games comes out next month, and I wrote that. So
that sounds pretty cool. I think a lot of us will group together to watch the Friendship Games together. You know, we really like that to watch together the episodes and the movies. And yeah, thanks for.
Yeah, thanks for your skill, because I mean, the episodes were just, as I said before, they were awesome, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm not gonna be mumbled about.
well, I'm glad you like them. I think they were good. I tend to find fault with everything, but it's really encouraging to hear when people like it.
I'd say for the convention business as well, we are really happy for anybody who comes to us and just shakes our hand and says they are so happy that we are organized it. So it's mutual feeling as well. Thanks for helping us too.
Yeah. We hope the next time we meet, we will have the chance to shake your hand in person.
Yeah, actually meet. That would be nice.
And give a hug.
Oh, come on, guys. No hugs this time. Even not the virtual hugs.
You can hug a camera, but please don't break it. The reason why the people are shouting his name is because at the Galacon, there are 2 other conventions in Germany, and for the last 2 years, he got hugs from Emma Larson and from Peter New and from Tabitha San German, I think. So yeah, he's a MLP film crew hugger. He's a professional hugger.
I don't want to be left out. I got to get in on that.
Yes, those hugs were actually for the charity auction. It started as a joke, it continues, and some people now call me the serial hugger.
Could be worse.
Right, to stay on the topic of scripting, actually, I would like to ask, before MLP, you wrote a couple of episodes for anime series. And even before that, you were actually an actor. So did you find writing script more interesting than acting? Or is there actually a story behind this that you could share with us? And the screen froze.
Not much of an interesting story. And oh, yeah, just as you guys were panning, I had this really cool swoosh of color. Ah, there's everybody. Hey, am I still frozen?
Yeah, you are moving from side to side.
All right, cool. As far as the question about is writing more interesting than acting, was that the question? The answer is no. No, it's not. It's not. Acting is much more interesting. But as hard as it is to get a job writing, it is about 100 times harder to get a job acting.
Oh, wow.
So that just kind of worked itself out. Acting is a lot of fun. It's just most of the time you end up doing it for free. And I have bills, so writing seemed like a better way to go. But acting really sort of is the thing. That's sort of my basis. That's the thing that informs everything that I do. When I write, I just kind of end up in my head or sometimes out loud performing all the roles, and that's kind of how I figure out what characters are going to say and what they're going to do in response to what other characters say. So acting really is sort of the basis for me for everything. There's not really an interesting story about everything. I just realized that acting was really, really, really hard and writing was only really hard, so I went with writing.
Okay, that's pretty hit. I've got one more question from us regarding to writing. Do you have a favorite spot where you get all the top class ideas?
Netflix. I mean, yeah, a lot. Yeah, like I could say, like I go sit by the ocean and watch the waves crash and get inspired. But honestly, I sit in my house and surf the internet. That's more likely what I do. Because especially with shows for kids, cartoons, there's so much pop cultural references that we do, and we end up referencing styles and storytelling from other things, and a comic book I've read, or a movie I've seen, or some other television show that sort of plants a seed that, oh, I did a show where Pinkie Pie was a detective, and it's that sort of thing.
Right now, your face was just like, staring at us while there was sound going on, so it was like, wow, you're using your Jedi powers to actually talk to us.
I love when the video and the audio lag are different. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was interesting because you were talking about Pinkie Pie, and this was definitely Pinkie Pie style.
She's right here, actually. Like.
Right. We would like to ask to move to a different topic, and the topic is fandom, since we are the convention. And the question is actually quite simple. What was your first contact with the Brony fandom?
You mean outside of like a Google search? Yeah, I think it was probably, there's a there's a Brony convention in San Francisco, California. That was the first one that I went to, BabsCon, and you know, I knew that the fandom was huge and passionate, and so I kind of expected that it would be overwhelming, and it was. BabsCon is one of the larger conventions. It's not the size of BronyCon, which I think this year had 10,000 attendees, which is crazy. But BabsCon still had a couple of thousand people in this giant hotel, and there were just people in cosplay wandering everywhere, and you know, a line for autographs, and it was mixed. Larson describes going to the conventions as sort of like rock star camp for the writers. We get to see what it's like to be celebrities for this like weekend, and you know, it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy. I don't know how anyone would not enjoy interacting with people who love the show. I mean, that's sort of the reason why we do what we do, is to get that feedback. So it's been nothing but positive for me.
Wow. Oh.
And yeah, part of this question was already partially answered, but I will ask anyway. And what's your personal opinion on the fandom that is age and gender-wise definitely not the intended target of the audience of the show? Well, you can give your honest opinion, as you are far away, and you are quite fine from tomatoes and other stuff.
No, I mean, like I said, it's really exciting when you're working on something for what you think is a very specific small group of people, in this case, you know, 6 to 9-year-old girls, and it starts to resonate with other audiences. It's really encouraging, and it makes you feel like you're doing something worthwhile. It's I wouldn't say surprising, because as an artist, you always, you know, in your big head, you're like, of course, everything I do, everyone in the world will love. But when you do something and it actually resonates with an audience that you hadn't expected, I don't know how to describe the feeling. It's really good. So yeah, I don't have a problem with anyone anywhere in the world telling me that the thing that I wrote was good and they liked it. I don't see how anyone would have a problem with that.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, that's actually quite nice.
So yeah,
And the screen froze again. Oh, never mind. No. There we go.
It does not.
Right. We also know that the members of the script writing team actually should not look up fan fiction. So, are we allowed at least to watch some PMVs, as pony music videos, or check various art and crafts?
Yeah, I mean, you know, technically, I don't look. It's like I don't look at any of that stuff ever. I've never seen any of it. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, we're not legally, we're not allowed to say that we look at any fan stuff at all, because just the potential because everybody creative comes up with the same ideas. That's just the nature of creative thought. And at some point in the room, when we come up with scripts, we are going to naturally think of the same sort of things that someone else in some other part of the world has thought of at some time. So to protect Hasbro from being sued by that person, we have to make it a rule that we just don't ever look at anybody else's stuff, because everybody thinks that they're the first person to think of something creative ever, and it's just, Zeitgeist just doesn't work that way.
Okay, thanks for clicking that up for us. Now we are more knowledgeable. Right, I have What's the time?
But I would like to say I'm consistently impressed with the creativity of the fan community. Hey, wait, can the camera keep turning so I can see my face too, like the other way? I want to see, like, what are people looking at? Oh, hey, me! Wow. What a big head. All right,
You'll break the fourth wall. What I've noticed, because I'm managing the PR for Czequestria, I've noticed there are so many tweets from various members of the MLP crew, and they attend so many social events, like their own ones. So, do you folks actually have like an annual get-together gathering of the scriptwriters and voice actors, or anything like that?
No, honestly, the times that we're sort of, any time that we're all together in one place, it's usually at a convention. Because the writers are in Los Angeles, the studio is in Los Angeles, the directors and actors are in Vancouver in Canada. So a lot of our interaction is actually over the internet or on the phone. So the only time we're ever together in person is at a convention somewhere. So we have you guys to thank for that.
Oh. Thanks.
So, one of the most basic questions ever, how it is to create a script for one episode, and what are the previous steps? Requirements, and what things you have to do before the script for the episode is finally ready?
Well, I mean, there's a whole lot from my end, just on the script writing standpoint. Usually, maybe 2 to 4 times a season, all of the writers who are working on that season will gather together in a room and we'll come up with the ideas, just sort of quick little, call them log lines, which are like 1 or 2 sentence ideas for what all 26 episodes will be. And we write them up on a big board, and we come up with, obviously, a lot more than just those 26. We come up with, dozens and dozens of ideas, and we write them all up on a big board, and then we figure out which ones we like the best. And then the writers who came up with those ideas will go off and write what's called a premise, which is sort of like a 1 to 2 page summary of what that episode might be. And then they submit that to the story editors, to the studio, to the directors, and everybody sort of weighs in and gives notes and talks about what they like and what they don't like, and so that changes. And then we write an outline, and an outline is sort of like a scene-by-scene summary, so just sort of expanding on that idea of the premise. And so we write every scene in sort of just a little paragraph of what happens in it. And that gets submitted to the story editors and the directors and the studio, and everybody writes emails about what they like and what they don't like. And so we either do another version of the outline, or then we go to script, and the same process continues. And we write out the first draft of the script, and we get everybody's input, and then we'll usually write probably 3 drafts of script before it's finally finished. And then they lock the script, and then that gets sent to Vancouver, and then the voice cast will come in and do a record, and they'll record all the dialogue, and then from that audio file, the directors and the storyboard artists will work and come up with all of their ideas for the physical action that happens in it, and they'll draw out storyboards, and then they'll do what's called an animatic, which is basically just sort of filming the stills of the storyboards in the sequence of what the episode is, and then they submit that to everyone for input, and then everyone talks about it, and then they'll start filling it out in actual animation. And but it's a long process. Just the script writing process from premise to final draft is about 12 weeks, and then for every script, and then from record to final animated version is another couple of months. So it's a long process for each episode.
Wow, that's quite a lot of work. Actually, more work than I do in IT. But since you described the process, do you get a request from Hasbro prior to that with already like an idea for an episode, or do you pitch this draft first to Hasbro and they approve it for the animatic?
It kind of goes both ways. Most of the time, the writers will come up with the ideas, but every once in a while, Hasbro will say, "Hey, we've got this new playset we want you to tell a story around." So we'll have to come up with ideas for that. So that happens too, and I mean the directors have come up with ideas for episodes that have gone through that process and come out the other end as really good episodes. So the majority of the ideas come from the writing staff, though. So that's basically how it works.
Wow.
Sorry, I took the microphone from you.
It's fine. One of the questions you, I think, also heard many times. Do you consider yourself a brony? And how many people in the production team are actually bronies or consider themselves bronies?
I mean, I kind of feel like we're bronies by default. We have to be bronies, or I don't think we'd be able to do the show. We have to be fans of the stuff we're doing, or we wouldn't be doing it. So yeah, I don't think any of the people who work on the show are going to start their own convention anytime soon. Because we have that. It's we go to work every day, and so it's like a little mini convention every day. But yeah, in terms of being fans of our own work, of course, it's our work. We love it. So yeah, and interacting with the fan community, it's sort of the only way you can do that is by participating in it. So yeah, I would say yes. I would consider us all bronies.
Wow.
We are all...
Okay.
Just froze. And you're back.
No, the screen froze with a really good gesture from you.
Oh, good.
Since Czequestria was actually your first episode to be aired, were you nervous about the audience it was going for, or did you actually not really think deeply on that?
Both. I mean, I definitely wanted my episode to be well received. It was definitely something that I was worried about and hoping that I would strike the right chords, not just with the target demo, is what we call it, the 6 to 9 year old girls that we're trying to write for. But, I mean, I knew about the fandom, and I wanted to do my best to be sort of well received by them as well. I kind of had a feeling that I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought that I would be able to strike the right chords because, like I said, I'm a big passionate fan of things, of nerdy things. I have been my whole life. So I figured if I liked it, then there's a good chance that the fan community would like it as well. So yeah, I was definitely nervous about it, but I also trusted the ideas that I had and felt like it would go well. I felt okay about it. It was very gratifying to find out that I was right. Because I could have been totally wrong.
Oh, but you weren't. I mean, it was an excellent episode, and all the other stuff you did, it's just perfect as well. Or is it just me who agrees?
Thank you.
No.
Most of the episodes you wrote revolve around the members of Apple family. Why do you find these characters interesting? Or it's just a coincidence?
I think a lot of that is just the luck of the draw. That was just the episodes that I ended up getting assigned and writing. Although I have found it's really quite, because my inclination is towards more comedy than not, and I've found it an interesting challenge to try and make Applejack funny. So that was sort of the impetus for what was it, the Applejack Rarity episode that I wrote where they switch places. I found that because Rarity is sort of the pony that I respond the most to, so I thought it would be really interesting to have those two have to do a Freaky Friday sort of switch. And yeah, just the idea of making Applejack funny appealed to me. And I mean, Granny Smith is such a crazy, unique character. I kind of jumped at the chance to write an episode that had to deal with her. So yeah, writing for the apples, it was sort of chance, but I just definitely dove in because it was a cool challenge.
Awesome. Okay. Right, I think we'll take time now for the QA from the audience. We'll play the microphone on the edge, and if there are people, please line up by the left-hand side, or right-hand side actually, from the regular view. I get it around. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Right, do we have any questions from the audience? Yep, come up please, come up please. There is still feedback coming through. We don't like feedback. Listen to the audio coming. Yep, come please.
Right to the front.
Yeah, come to the front.
Oh, there we go. Hello there.
Hi, this is awesome.
I'm very tall.
Yes, Neil before Zod. No, I'm just...
Okay, now you can't see my head, but that's fine. So, episode 100. I'm curious about this.
Yeah.
Have you watched episode 100? Do you know? Have you seen the significance? So, I've got this sort of like idea in my head that like all the writers like got together and was like, oh, how can we make this the most interesting quote unquote episode possible? So to what extent is that the case? How were you surprised that this sort of thing was happening? What was say Hasbro's reaction to it? Just sort of talk about it, I guess. I'm interested.
I was not surprised it was happening. I was surprised that Hasbro allowed it to happen. And honestly, I have to say that 100th episode, it was almost 90% Mitch. Like all the writers met inside his head and he came up with so much of that. I mean, there was a lot of input from various places, but that really, I feel like that episode was really Mitch's sort of love letter to the fandom. And all of us read it, and when we went through that sort of process we talked about before, all of us were super excited, really impressed, and like I said, really surprised that they let us do it.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. So I really liked promos for the friendship games that have come out, and I really liked both that Sunset Shimmer finally gets to use her motorbike jacket because there are actually bikes in the movie, and also that girl with the bows and arrows, and the new character. And I was wondering if that was maybe inspired by Hunger Games, and if Hasbro wanted to go with that.
Well, I can't say for certain why Hasbro does anything, because I don't know.
Who can?
I have the same sort of ideas that, oh yeah, some executive at Hasbro saw Hunger Games and thought we should definitely put some bows and arrows in this movie. That thought definitely occurred to me too. But when I'm in the midst of writing, that sort of stuff all kind of fades to the background, and I'm just trying to write cool scenes where cool chicks do cool things. So I'm equally excited to see the premiere, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I'll end up saying something I shouldn't or spoiling something, and then I'll get into trouble. But I am equally excited to see all of the stuff that has been revealed in the promos expanded upon. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm really happy with the movie, and I think everybody else will be too.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Hello, thank you for your great work, and I have a question. What was your first impression when the people at Czequestria asked you to do a panel via Skype? And it was great comedy, like the legs and the frozen faces.
Well, I mean, the original plan was for me to attend, but it ended up not working out, and I'm very disappointed. And I hope that someday in the future I'll be able to get there. Skype was just sort of the next best option. It's definitely a distant second to being there in person, and I wish I could be there. But hey, miracle of modern science, right? I still get to participate. It's still awesome that it's almost in real time that I get to talk to you all, and I feel like we're all really, really lucky to have this kind of ability. And even though there's lags and freezes, it's a lot better than you writing questions on a piece of paper and tying it to a pigeon's leg and then me writing back.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Hey.
I guess my question is a bit strange. Were there situations in your life where you thought friendship is really magic? Okay.
Actually, my entire career, because at every point where I have been successful, it has been because of my group of friends. I work with people that I have been friends with for years. I got my start with people that I have been friends with for years. So, I owe pretty much everything that I have in my life to my friends. And so I would encourage all of you to continue to find that magic, because that's what it's going to carry you through your entire life. I don't know how to emphasize it enough. It's not a coincidence that this show is about friendship and the benefits of it, because all of us on the show have felt it. So.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hello. I have a question. When you making references for some sort of media are not pony related, you are like hiding this and have hope that Hasbro didn't find it, or like talking to Hasbro and this is cool shit. I want you to put it in the script. Right. You understand me?
Well, we always try to be really upfront, because we don't want to get into a situation where the studio or the toy company is mad and fires us. So we're very upfront with the things that we want to do, and sometimes Hasbro signs off on it, and sometimes they don't. And it's not just the writers who come up with cultural references or pop culture references or media references. The directors do it too. I mean, they probably end up doing it more than the writers do because they can put cool, interesting visual gags in the background.
So they can't
still
hide
play.
it, yeah? So they,
I'm sorry?
they can't hide it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really, none of us can. There are times where I think we put something in and Hasbro hasn't noticed and so hasn't said anything, but then later on when they see it, they're like, oh, we can't do that because we'll get sued. But it's never a case where we're trying to sneak something by them. We're always really upfront about it, and if there's ever been a situation where they said, oh, we can't do this, we'll get sued, why did you put this in? We can always say, well, that's been there from the beginning. If we figured since you didn't say anything about it, it was fine. And they'll go, okay, yeah, I guess we just didn't notice. But generally, we try to be really upfront. There's no sneaking around because we don't want to get in that situation where we're unemployed.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Greetings from Czech Republic. As a story writer,
Thank you.
You could notice there is lots of trains in Czequestria, and I would like to ask you a question. Where is located the train depot?
Wait, I'm sorry. To trains?
Train depot, yeah, trains. Because there are lots of trains in Czequestria, lots of train problems.
Sure.
For instance, ships. So where is located, please? Well, in which city is located train depot? In Ponyville, Manhattan, or I don't know, maybe Canterlot?
Where there's a train depot?
Yes, exactly.
Well, I mean, I think there's a train depot in every city. The Friendship Express stops at all of those cities because Czequestria are the only ones who can fly. Everybody else has to ride the train or walk.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a stop. Anytime that we come up with a new city, a new land, we pretty much have to figure out how the train gets there because. I mean, unless you're talking about some distant place that's supposed to be inaccessible, then we don't worry about it. But we sort of take it for granted that there's going to be a train depot in just about all of the cities, for sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, first of all, thank you for being here, or far away. I have a question about the main six, and the question is, most of your episodes is in combination with Applejack, so many fans are saying that Applejack is the best background pony. What do you think about that?
I think that's really unfair. Come on. Applejack is a full-fledged member of the main six. No, but I recognize how she can come across as not as excited. I mean, you know, look, Pinkie Pie. It's really easy to figure out why people like her. Same goes for Rarity. Applejack is a bit of a challenge. Honestly, I feel like Twilight is the biggest challenge. It's hard for me to make the main character, the one that all the eyes are on, to make her interesting because she spends so much time every episode telling you what the story is. So I find Twilight to be the biggest challenge. But I understand the inclination in the fan community to diss Applejack. But all I'm going to say is you have to give her another look, man. She's got real value. Come on.
I think so too. Thanks.
Hi, I really love your episode about the main six in the castle. It was really great. what I really like about
thank you.
show My Little Pony is that it's set in a fantasy world. And you said you like RPG, you're an RPG person. How much are you looking forward to expand that world?
Every episode is an opportunity to expand it, and we're always putting in mythological creatures, things that we've come across through, because everyone who writes on the show is similar to me. Everyone are fans of comics and mythology, and not everyone is a fan of role-playing games, but everyone has the thing that that they put into the show that they obsess about. So yeah, I look at every episode as an opportunity to sort of get some cool creature or demigod or something that that my D&D character fought against in 4th grade and when I was 12. So I'm always like looking for, what if we put a minotaur in here at this point, and like then he's gonna fight a displacer beast over here, and I mean I'm always trying to figure out cool things to bring into it. So yeah, all the time I'm always looking for ways to expand our mythological universe.
Thanks.
Alrighty, just 2 more questions, please, and please make it really good ones. Yay.
Yeah, the pressure's on.
Okay, hi. Long story short, do you own any MLP merch? And if so, are there any customs? I really wonder.
Are there any what?
Custom ones from the fans, you know?
Custom ones?
Mm-hmm.
People have, at the various conventions, people have given me ones that they've made. They've sent stuff to me. I have a really cool, it's like a soccer scarf that some of the fans sent me. It's really awesome. So yeah, I have a ton of stuff, and I'm always interested in people giving me free stuff. So if anyone in the fan community wants to send me stuff, feel free. But I'm always impressed by the creativity and the dedication. Some of the stuff is so intricate and amazingly realized that it always makes a huge impression on me. So I'm always really grateful that the fan community is so involved.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Who is the shadow pony at the end of Castlevania?
I'm sorry, say it.
Shadow pony on the end of Castlevania. Who is it?
Yeah. Well, who do you think it is?
I'm asking you.
It's Larson.
And I'm turning it back around. I want to know who you think. No, honestly, when I wrote the episode, what was in my brain were sort of the Scooby-Doo from the late 70s, early 80s, and that was sort of the genre that I was kind of riffing on and that I wanted to evoke. And all those episodes, for inexplicable reasons, the Scooby-Doo episode always ended where they would unmask the ghost, and it would be the old man who ran the amusement park, and he would say, I would get away with it if it weren't for these kids. And then you'd think the episode would end, and then Scooby-Doo would be walking past a suit of armor, and like the little eyes would look at him, and you'd be like, what is that? You just told me it was the old guy. I don't understand. Is the ghost real or not? So that was my sort of homage to those Scooby-Doo episodes. I didn't have a particular storyline in mind beyond it being that sort of referential thing to Scooby-Doo.
Thank you.
To be honest, it would be a ghost of Emma Larson.
Yeah, it was Emma. It was Emma Larson.
Oh yeah, now it's canon. Larson is in the show. Oh dear.
Not the first time.
All right, we would really like to thank you for attending the Skype even through all the technical difficulties and all the difficulties in in everything else. So really, thanks for attending, and we hope to see you in person, hopefully with a beer or fried cheese, as I promised on Twitter.
I hope so too.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to meet you in person, maybe in next 2 years when next Czequestria will be placed. So, is there anything else we wanted to add?
Well, the only thing, we are looking forward to, Equestria Girls, and yeah, I mean, as we said, we are looking forward to your work, so really, thanks for that, for inspiring us, and thanks for helping us make this con 20% more cooler. Cheers, man.
Thank you so much, and I definitely send me tons of pictures of the group watching. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay, bye and see you next time, hopefully soon.
All right, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.